What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching a Ragin Ronin review. Got a review for you. I checked out Extraction. It's a Netflix film, and is not to be confused with a 2015 film of the same name, which starred Bruce Willis and Kellen Lutz. I'm talking about Extraction, a 2020 film which is produced by the Russo brothers, Joe and Anthony Russo, who of course are known for their work on directing Captain America Civil War, and of course Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Now, it seems like they're not quite done with working with their Avengers cast members, because last year they produced 21 Bridges with Chadwick Boseman, and then later on this year they're producing a film with Tom Holland in it, and now right now we have Extraction, which stars Chris Hemsworth, Thor himself. This film is directed by Sam Hargrave, who is a stunt coordinator and also a fight choreographer on a lot of the MCU films. And not only that, he's a stunt double, or rather he's the stunt double for Chris Evans, Captain America himself. So right now we have a very, very solid team, and with this team involved, you know that it's going to be a big action film, and that is exactly what it is. Extraction is exactly what the title suggests. It's about a Special Forces mercenary named Tyler Rake, who is played by Chris Hemsworth, and he's out there in Dhaka, Bangladesh, hired to extract this kidnapped boy, and this boy just happens to be the son of a drug lord, and now the whole city's coming down on them because they're out there to kill him, and even the cops are working for the drug lords. So he's in a very impossible situation. Now, what makes this film really great is that they keep it really, really basic. Really, really simple, okay? This is a full-on action movie. Like, non-stop action. It kind of reminds me of those action films from the 80s and the 90s. I'm talking about those one-man army type of action films. Now, I'm not suggesting that, Chris Hemsworth, or rather Tyler Rake, he goes out there and he just kills everybody. I'm not really suggesting that. In a way, he kind of does, but I'm suggesting that there's just one man in here who does the job, and that is Chris Hemsworth's character, Tyler Rake. And he's so good at what he does. We don't get a whole lot of information about his backstory and his mysterious past. We just know that he's the right man hired for the job, because he's just so good at hand-to-hand combat, marksmanship, rifle handling, and he just takes out bad guys in the most efficient way. And with Sam Hargrave as the director, and also with his experience as a stuntman and stunt coordinator, we get some really amazing action sequences. They're very hard-hitting, they're very violent, and they're just really, really well put together. I'm talking about some really great sequences which just, you don't want to blink, because there are some really great one-take action shots, and there's actually a lot of them. And I think this film really raises the bar for one-take action, because they do a lot of really incredible stuff with the camera work. Like, you won't even notice the camera cutting in some really, really insane sequences. So that's something that is really worth checking out in this film. Now, as for the film, it's a non-stop action ride. What can I say? But of course, in somewhere in the middle, they give us a little bit of time to breathe after all that action, gives us a little bit of exposition. But at the end of it all, this film is all about the action, and it is exciting, and it's a very intense situation, because with it being a one-man army type of film and the focus being on Chris Hemsworth's character, Tyler Rake, you're really invested in the character, and you're invested from the very, very beginning to the very, very end. And that's what's so great about this movie. So I really enjoyed this film. There really isn't a whole lot of anybody else, even though David Harbour is a supporting cast member in this role, like in this film. This film is all Chris Hemsworth, and he puts on I think it's Chris Hemsworth's best performance of his career, both as an actor and also as a physical performer. I think he does a fantastic job, and this is some action work that is probably the best he's ever done. So, you will see some pretty hard-hitting action, and it's a very, very brutal, violent, R-rated action, so keep that in mind. But it's something that will really make you feel like, oh, that was awesome. All right. So anyways, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Now that is a pretty high score. It's not a perfect film because, you know, let's be completely honest. This film doesn't. This film is really quite simple, and it's got a lot of really predictable elements about it. Like he's the one guy who can do this job. He also predictably, reluctantly isn't sure if he wants to do it, but he goes on ahead and does it. And he's also got a mysterious past, like a lot of other characters that we've seen in other films. So, you know, there's oh, and also there's some moments in the film which you kind of see coming. You know what I mean? So, you know, there's that predictable element of that. But really, this film's plot is just a vehicle to really get some really spectacular action sequences, and that is what we get in this film. Be prepared to be entertained. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10, and I highly recommend it, okay? Go check it out. It's on Netflix right now. As always, if you enjoyed this review and you want to see more, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.